Howdy everyone, Icy Mike here, and welcome back to Icy Climbs. That's right, we got some more climbing footage for you guys. It's been a little while since I've actually been to the climbing gym. I've been so busy and stuff lately with the move, but I had some old footage for you guys that I wanted to review and go over. So we're going to start with a white V0, and I didn't explain this last time because I'm bad at explaining things, but each problem is like, there's a grade to each problem, and when you go up to the wall, you'll see multiple colored different holds, and the first hold will have like a number on it, and it'll say V something or another. There's another grading system that they use elsewhere, but not at this gym, generally speaking. But we're starting off with the V0, and in this V0, it's a white V0, so you're only supposed to use the white handholds or the white footholds. So this one's kind of interesting when you start out because you actually can't see the first hold that you grab around the other side of the wall there. Like from where you're standing, that perspective, you actually can't see it. And from the rest of it, it's pretty easy to do. You can kind of get up it without too much effort as far as questioning. It's just kind of like climbing up a ladder, really. The holds aren't that deep, but they're deep enough that you can pretty much get a good grip on there. And yeah, so that was it for that one. So that's it. You know, again, usually those are the more like the warm up ones that you do, just kind of get yourself loose or whatever after stretching and doing all that stuff, which I have to make sure I stretch, because if I don't, I pull something every single time. Getting right into this yellow one here, it's got a weird starting hold, which I like, which you can't see because my body's in the way. And actually, all of these holds are a little bit less common ones, because they're not jugs or what have you. There's all kinds of different names for these holds, and I can't remember all of them. But this was pretty fun. Get you kind of stretching kind of wide. You know, you have to put different grips and stuff on it as you go through. And obviously I try to stretch there and don't quite make it, but eventually we do manage to squirm our way up there and finish it off at a weird angle, and you kind of gotta get yourself just right, but I get there pretty easily. I've done that one quite a few times. It's one of my favorites. They've had it up for a while now, so it's one of my favorites. So I do it every time I go. It's pretty simple for me anyway. I know for people that are a little less height challenged, if you will, it's not as easy because obviously I can reach for the holds, whereas somebody like Crazy Soul or some of the other people that are a little bit shorter might have a harder time. They might have to kind of hop to some of the holds, which I've seen him do from time to time. It's pretty badass. All right, for this next one here, it's a green V1, so it's that same next step up above the V0. Obviously, it's a grading scale from like 0, I think all the way up to like 15 or something. Like, I know it goes pretty high, but like never where I'd be able to climb, because that'd be way too high. But anyway, so this is a green V1, so I got to use all the green holds. And when you're on the actual wall, you can't always see all of the holds and stuff. So I'll start playing here. You actually see me kind of reaching and just putting a hand on some of the holds. And that's mainly just to get an idea on how you want to grab it, how you want to angle your body. This is literally me talking about Crazy Soul about, hey, maybe I should put this in the video. And that's exactly obviously what I did before I actually did the hold. But you can see it's kind of longer, and I'm just trying to figure it out mentally, because that helps a lot, especially when you go into the higher level ones. If you don't know where a certain hold is, or you don't know how to grab a certain hold, you're going to burn all of your energy trying. And then when you go to actually do the problem, you're not going to have enough energy to do it. So I want to say I get through this one fairly easy. I think this was the first time I did this one. So even still, I'm taking it kind of slow and not quite trusting myself, but I do know I get up there. There we go, hoisting myself up to the top. And from here, this is actually another more difficult part where I kind of got to stretch out even for myself, just to kind of make some of these holds. So you can only imagine for somebody else how that would be a little bit more difficult. Me, that big long stretch there, using every inch of my body there to reach that hold. To finish it up, and then I take a nice clean climb down, because you never want to just jump down. Usually, I mean, there's pads and stuff on the ground, but that's one of the things they harp on at the gym is like, hey, you can jump down safely if you can, but if not, just comfortably climb down. You can use whatever hold you want to climb down. And I think I did this. I might have done this on a previous video, or I have intentions of doing this on my climbing videos. My cat's running around in the background. I have intentions of doing this on one of my videos where basically I climb up a hold and then climb back down, like climb up a problem and climb down the same problem, because that teaches you a lot of the technique and stuff like that. Because going up it, you might have your body in one way. Well, as you're climbing back down, you're like, wait a minute, my body, now I have to contort back in that way. And instead of just saying, oh, screwed, I can just reach up there real fast, now you got to kind of mentally think of how to climb down, which is part of it too, so, and a good skill to have when you're doing the rock climbing stuff. Now, here I actually have one of the more difficult problems. It's a V2. It's a red V2, and you have to start kind of low. And if you notice, my feet down at the bottom are actually just kind of pinched up against the wall. Like, they're not actually, like, one of them's on the hole, the other one's just kind of kicking on the wall, and that's literally just to hold my balance before I jump up to the next hold, which is all the way up there. And this one's definitely a hard reach. There's a lot of orange holds around, so you end up confusing those, but those are actually red holds that I have my feet on. And from there, it's actually a bit of a cinch because I'm so long. And I even grunt right there just to make the last move. There's more holds and stuff that I kind of could have used, but they weren't as deep as I would like. So I went for the deeper holds and just kind of skip some. I cheated a little. I'll admit, I cheated a little. I fudged it, but I made it up there. So if you can fudge V2, that's saying something. But the last climb that I know I've got for you guys is actually a really fun one I did. Months ago, there was one problem that had options enough that I was actually able to do it one-handed, and I saw a problem this time on the same angled wall, and I was like, I think I can do it. And I know on a couple of parts of it, it looks like I'm not doing it one-handed because obviously I start with it behind my back and then I end up moving it, but it's literally just me clenching like towards my chest so hard to try to stay on the wall without actually grabbing anything. But I do manage to actually beat this one-handed. And here's a little tricky part where I actually have to kind of lift up, get my foot ready, turn my body all the way inwards to then just snatch it because I was falling off if I did not catch that. So that was a fun one. I did it one-handed, and yeah. So I got one more for you guys. It's a blue V1, I believe. This one was not of the same climbing session as the other ones. This is just extra. This is bonus footage for you guys. This is a little bit extras. But you see, I'm actually using the powder and stuff. That helps keep your hands dry and gives you a little bit better of a grip on the wall. A lot of powder. Dusty. And this one's kind of interesting because I actually start with a foot on this little crease over to the left side. So my foot's not actually on a hold, because some of these you actually start with your foot just kind of smashed against the wall, and that's how you start it, because there's only like one foothold, or the foothold's at a weird angle, so that's the only way to do it. This problem's kind of interesting because you actually have to switch feet a lot, which you saw me just do there. Throughout the whole problem, pretty much that's what you have to do, and that's a technique you kind of got to learn. So they usually they'll have like one problem where you have to do it like 10 times. Or what have you, to do it, kind of comfortably, and just so you kind of get used to that motion of shifting your feet and kind of getting over there and kind of doing it. But yeah, you see, I get it over there pretty easily, finish it off. It's blue V1, so it's a little more difficult, but not insanely. From what I've noticed as I'm doing these, it's like the V0s is just like, as long as you're strong enough, you can kind of make it up them. The V1s, a little bit more, you can power through it, and you need a little bit more strength, but you can generally still kind of power through them, but you need maybe a hair of technique. And then once you get on to V2s, it's like that balance between you gotta have enough strength and you gotta have technique to kind of get up there. And there's been plenty of V2s that I've done, and like once I figured out how to do them, I was like, oh, this is easy. Like how is this a V2? But then I was like, no, it makes sense that everyone might not know how to, like, the techniques and how to angle your body and keep yourself close to the wall, and there's a whole mess of stuff that goes into it, and I'll go into further detail as I continue on with the videos and stuff like that. But this was just a short one for you guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Got some more climbing with Icy in there, but for now I'm gonna get out of here. So thanks for chilling with Icy. Goldie Graham. Goldie is the Grams.